My models have seen a handful of redos over the years of Porterverse Workbench. However, most of the redos were done way after their initial models were made. And I think my newest model has probably the quickest time between the first and second model. And that is Stanley. I initially made Stanley in late 2024 and wasn't too happy with him. I did not like the finish with the brush on white, it just looks so bad. The proportions weren't that great either, it was kind of sloppy on my part. I had thoughts of redoing him since early 2025, and eventually I decided to move forward with it. I was pretty hesitant to moving forward with him throughout pretty much all of 2025, as I could not find a worthy candidate model for Stanley. I want him to be an industrial tank engine, an 060 specifically, like in the TV series. I looked at so many models I could potentially use. I really loved the Sludge Tender's take on him, it looks so good. I also found a bunch of ready-to-run models that were pretty close as well. However, many of the ready-to-run industrial models were too expensive for me, and the body shell the Sludge Tender used was not available, at least at the time. This was around the time that Bachman Stanley popped up on Amazon. I was able to get my hands on one pretty soon. This was shortly after Christmas, and I decided to use some of that Christmas money to get one. Now, I take issue with some parts of Stanley's TV series design, but I was generally fine with it, however, as it overall looked like a unique industrial engine, and so I decided to move forward with it. Comparing the untouched Bachman model to my original Stanley is night and day difference. I don't really know how I let my old Stanley pass initially. I knew this next model of Stanley was going to be much better than the last, and so I got to work. The first thing I did was remove the saddle tank. This just popped off, and then grinded down the nameplates with a Dremel. But I had to be careful to not hit any other details like piping that I wanted to keep, as some parts, especially the handrails, are very thin. I also sanded down some parts that had seam lines, notably this atrociously ugly one in the smoke box. After all that, I submerged the body shell parts in isopropyl alcohol for about 8 hours or so, after which I used a plastic brush to scrub off the original paint. After it was washed and dried, I sprayed all the parts with Rust-Oleum flat white primer. This also acted as the main livery color, 2 birds with 1 stone. I then brush painted the roof and smoke box black. Next, I painted the window frames and door pieces red. Various bits all over the model are painted in silver, like the handrails and pipes, and also the funnel. I feel like the silver funnel is a unique Stanley touch. Although I might add a gold cap to it later, but I'm not sure of that yet. I salvaged the smoke box door from my original Stanley model for this new one. I had to do a little bit of sanding on the door, and I have yet to fill in the gap here, but it's all painted black inside and isn't that noticeable, so after that, I struggled to find what else to do with this model to make it stand out more. Eventually, I landed on painting the inner part of these side rods gold. I used a toothpick to paint the indents on the rods, and this actually helped the model a lot. I'm surprised. This was when the model really started coming together. That new color introduced to the chassis area really helps the model, I feel. He is owned by the Earl of Sodor in Porterverse continuity. He does have to keep up appearances after all. After brushing on Mod Podge matte sealant on the smoke box and roof, I reassembled the model. Stanley was done. I am really happy with him, way more than my initial model. Then again, I do still think he feels kind of plain, if you know what I mean. Things a lack of details on the running board, like a lamp irons or something, but who knows. One day I might find something to add to him to make him look less standard looking, a little more detailed. But for now, I see this as a massive step up from my old Stanley. Stanley looks so much better now. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all same time next week.